Roll me a story. Dev pushes the both of you towards one of the nearby doorways. Keep watch, he tells the Elysian. Yes, sir. The Elysian checks his rifle and posts up outside the door. Dev ushers you both inside this relatively cramped but crucially borderline empty dive bar of sorts, and then over to an empty table. Who is the whelp? Carrot looks at him, bewildered, and then to you, and then back at Dev. He is my bodyguard? Dev scowls visibly. You hired the one sent to kill you to be your bodyguard in the midst of this chaos? The important part is that he didn't, and not because he was incapable, but because he didn't want to. Dev looks over at you and notes the bullet wound in your shoulder. Fine, he'll have to do. Dev, what's happening? What is going on? Why was that footage on your machine? Why were you there? Which house paid those guns for hire? You think this is just some of the houses scrabbling for power? Is that not what this is? No. Someone wants to make it look that way. Cara looks utterly flabbergasted. What do Someone is trying to undermine the houses themselves. It is cementing itself as a nation-state on the galactic stage, and someone does not like the fact that the houses are responsible for that level of influence that quickly. The attacks on Kishel, the bounty on you, the recent tensions with the Rose and the tribes, these are not disconnected events. They are being influenced by some force behind the scenes, and while the whelps, Alpin's decision to save you and then somehow not kill you has thrown any wrench into things, it has not made it safe for you or stopped things entirely. That footage from the gala has been circulating the net already, even made some of the news networks. If you are not known to them already, you soon will be. They will come for us again, all of us. We need to be ready for them. What ship did you arrive on? Alpin's personal ship. What class? Well, it's more of a shuttle, but with hyperdrive. Ah! Dev grins. Luck for what? Such ships are harder to trace. We will need to get you a larger ship, however, but we might not want to get rid of the current one. It will be useful for smaller operations. What house resources do you still have at your disposal, Cara? I don't think I have many, but perhaps we could see what Alpin might be able to tap into using his spacer connections? Dev looks over at you as his eyes light up. Spacer, yes. Good, that explains much. Tap into your resources start forming a team.
A team?
Yes, a team. We cannot just do this as just the four of us. We need outside help. Put together a team. See what resources you can pile towards getting a larger ship while keeping your head and hers low and out of sight. Dev leans forward towards you, putting his hands on the table. Listen to me. This is not something you can back out of now. You would have been inconsequential to these people when you first took their job. You would have been one of many faceless pawns in their game, but one pawn backing out, they would not have paid much attention to you. Instead, you have now stepped into this and actively made yourself a problem to them. You have foiled their attempt to kill her. They are looking to burn her. They are going to burn her like they burned the Kishel. They are going to burn everything around her, and that includes you now. You have put yourself on her side. You have made yourself a liability to these people. Yes, team. I will help you. Vazel will help you. But we cannot do this with just the four of us. Not now, not as is. We need more resources, we need more information. I can handle the information part. But you need to handle the resources part. You're a spacer. That whole guild, your whole guild, is built around the idea that you can pool resources to help each other get the job done. You must put that guild to work. You have a job now. This is your job. Do what you can. This is a game of chess. Now, this is not one of your cat and mouse games that you may be used to playing. We need pieces on the board. The way to do that right now is you. Much as I hate to admit that, given what you might have signed on for previously. But if Cara trusts you, I will make the decision to trust you as well. I do not have much choice right now. But neither do you.
Boss?
Cara blinks at you, like, completely unexpectedly, and just like, I mean, I would...
I am here to protect you.
I mean, if Dev is correct, and there's an attack coming on my house, on my family, I would like to prevent that. I would very much like to prevent that. Clearly. Dev, you say we need to split up. Would it not make more sense to have strength in numbers? Dev folds both of his hands together and leans forward on the table. We only split up momentarily. Things are in their early stages. We must throw them off our trail and gather what information we can. I will return with Vazel over to Iriz and collect what information I can.
Vazel, so that's your friend?
Yes, that is the scary Irizian friend with the assault rifle.
Got it.
You can trust him. He is trustworthy. I trust him very much. I understand his motivations. Even if he does not like to be forthcoming with them to other folks. But he will be part of our team.
I can understand that.
He and I will go to Iris and gather what information we can, and we will have to meet you at another location. There is a colony on the edge of Lilim space. I think we should meet there. I will send you coordinates for it. First, you must both go find us a bigger ship, and he gives you a look. Just goes, you will need to be armed better.
Yeah. I mean, I only have... He's just indicating his pistol.
Yes, you will need more than just that.
Yeah. It's trusty, but it's not that trusty.
Do you know of any nearby spacer caches that you might be able to find? Or any spacer caches you can go to that you know are currently in operation?
Well...
Give me a mind roll.
Mind roll, or intellect roll.
Intellect roll, I'm sorry, yes.
So that's just 1d20.
Yep.
I have a pool of 9. I have no edge.
Yeah, this is gonna be a difficulty of 2. But did you roll a 1?
Nat 1, baby.
Oh boy! All right, so you can only really think of the one. You can only really.
I feel like that means I've just not been here before.
You haven't been here before, in this space. So you know what? On a. This isn't technically part of the rule of Cypher. There's not really a. Oh no, it is. There's a GM intrusion. Okay. Yeah, you don't know any of the nearby spacer caches at the moment. The stress from all of this means that you're having a hard time focusing on things. You know you'll be able to find them, but you will have to ping the network from your ship, which means getting back to the docks and essentially running a ping through the spacer network to find what nodes there are.
Yeah. Alpin is fairly, relatively new as a spacer.
Yeah. Take an XP, by the way.
An XP, okay. XP is 1. Anyway, I just kind of look at him blankly, and I'm like, are you supposed to, know where those spacers supposed to know where those are? Off the top of their heads?
You just see Dev's expression, his expression on his face doesn't change, but you can see in his eyes go from oh, okay, I kind of like this kid, to, Oh God, why is this the guy we're stuck with?
I mean, yeah, Alpin is a fairly new spacer at best. He has not been doing this for long and has been relying on the information systems that are there on the network. He just hasn't built this pool of knowledge that a lot of other spacers have yet.
Please tell me you at least have a terminal installed on your ship.
Of course I have a terminal installed on my ship. I'm not stupid.
Okay, good. Well, we need to get back to the docks anyways. Here. He pulls out 2 items and places them on the table. You get both of these. These are both ciphers. One of these is a what's going by the rules of the disguise kit. It's a level 3 disguise kit. It's a disguise module. For the next 10 minutes per cipher level, this is a level 3, so it's for 30 minutes, the user's features become almost identical to those of one designated person they previously interacted with, easing by 2-step attempts to disguise the user as that person. Once designated, the user cannot shift the effect to look like another person, though they can remove the module to look like themselves again before the end of the duration, right? In this case, it looks like it's a little holographic projector, right? The other one you recognize immediately. It's a shield module. This shield module is a single-use cipher. Well, ciphers are all single-use, but this is a single-use combat cipher, right? And you can use this as your action per round to designate a character for the current next round of combat until your next turn. And it will nullify all incoming damage to that individual.
Okay. The AP rounds, are they a cipher as well, or are they just an equipment?
They are, I believe they are a cipher, which you can use at the top of... Oh, right, I did write up a ruling on this. You can use them at the beginning of combat. You could basically use up the cipher at the beginning of combat, and for the next 6 rounds in combat, it reduces difficulty to hit, and gives you an extra 1 damage to each attack. Okay.
So it's not the piercing and align bit.
No, it is not. It is easier to hit and deal damage with, effectively.
Okay.
So you're currently holding 3 ciphers, I believe?
Yes.
Okay.
What's my limit?
Your limit, I believe, right now is 3, so you should be willing to use one of these soon. And again, one of these is non-combat, the other 2 of these are combat ciphers, so keep that in mind. Although if you find a means to use the combat ciphers in a creative way, I'll rule it however I want to rule it.
Of course.
Anyhow, so he sets these 2 items on the table, says, "You will take these, and we will make our way to the docks, and we must get off station immediately. The longer we delay here, the more and more their trap starts to close around us. I do not look forward to having to fight our way out of here if we can avoid it. Is there anything that you would ask of me before we part ways for our time?"
Nothing that needs answering right now. I think we've got bigger problems.
Okay, a sense of priority. Good. Come, we leave. I will inform Vazel. We will make our way to the docks, and we shall leave. He gets up and heads towards the door. I presume you and Cara follow him.
Yep.
He exits the door and taps Vazel on the shoulder. They begin walking down the alleyway in front of you. They exchange a couple whispers. Vazel nods at Dev, and you all collectively start making your way to the docks. As you weave your way through the slums, something starts to bug you at the back of your brain a little bit. And it really sets in once you end up at the docks. Do me a favor, give me an intellect roll.
Okay. Are the docks still, corpsey?
Make me your intellect roll.
I rolled a 5.
You rolled a 5?
Rolled a 5.
Okay. The one thing that does bug you is that there are no more bodies at the docks, but you can't quite figure out what it is that's bugging you until...
I mean, there's no crime scene investigation here.
Yeah, you spot Vazel at one point, pauses, turns, and goes, "Get down!" He basically tackles Cara to the ground as gunfire rings out. Give me a speed defense roll.
Speed defense. I'm trained in speed defense.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
This is a difficulty 9 as opposed... this is a roll to beat a 9 as opposed to beat a 12.
Okay, it's reduced difficulty. Got it. I'm using this blue one. That's a 14.
Okay. You turn after hearing the first gunshot, and you manage to twist out of the way as they fire, as the assailant fires a second shot. You see 3 soldiers, all with these... they're not military uniforms, but they're definitely like combat getup.
Fatigues?
No, like there's body armor and stuff on there. These guys are
Okay.
ready for a combat situation. You see 3 of them facing you, each with rifles, as 3 more step out from the shadows. And behind them, you see towering over them this massive figure, easily about 8.5 feet tall, muscular, dreadlocks, like green-gray skin, and the pair of tusks poking up from underneath his lower lip. This is an Orcayan soldier. He is carrying a massive gun in his arms, and they all start to bear down on you. Do me a favor, roll initiative.
Roll initiative. 7.
Okay. The orc goes first, then then your allies, and then you, and then the soldiers. So the orc is going to level the rifle and fire not at you, but at Dev, and will miss. Vazel is going to get up and start moving with Cara towards the ships. He is also going to fire off an attack at one of the closest guys, and will miss. Dev will fire off a couple shots at the other guys and force them. They kind of end up scattering into cover. It is your turn. What are you going to do?
Okay, so how far away am I from my ship?
It's gonna take you, if you're moving long distances, it would take you, it'd take you probably 3 turns to get there if you're moving long distances consistently. Yeah, I'd say you'd have to move for long distances 2 turns, and then a short distance for the 3rd turn where to actually get to the ship.
Yeah, okay.
If you were not moving long distances, those short distances will add up, so it will take you 5 turns to get there.
What's the cover situation between here and there?
There's still a lot of boxes and shipments and stuff here at the docks, so Vazel is currently running Cara behind a lot of this cover in order to use it as a means of getting towards the ships. You are currently out in the open, but you're not that far from cover. If you wanted to get into cover, you could get into cover.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get into the first piece of cover that is on the way to the ship.
Okay.
I'm not retreating, but I am going as forward as I can while also getting to cover. Most importantly, I think I'm going a different way than Vazel and Cara.
Okay. So you're headed in vaguely the same direction, but you're actually stopping for...
Same direction, but I'm on like the other side of the dockway.
Okay. Is the movement your only action?
Yeah, movement is full action right now.
Yeah, okay. The soldiers are going to attempt to fire at basically everyone. Miss. One of them tags Vazel in the shoulder. And then do me a favor. Give me 2 speed defense rolls.
2 speed defense rolls. Okay. I'll get up my green dice for this. That's a 7 and a 3.
Okay. You have cover though.
I do have cover.
Okay. Do these guys attack it? Okay, so you take 4 damage.
Oof.
You take one shot. The other one narrowly hits the cover you're behind, like this big steel stack of steel crates, and ricochets off. And it's one of those things where you get tagged. You're just like, ooh, that was too close.
Yes, I'll take 3 to speed and 1 to might. I can do that, right?
You can, yeah.
I'm in rough shape.
Yeah.
A couple more of those and I'm dead.
The Orcayan is going to fire at Vazel. Vazel gets tagged leg, and you see him stumble and fall, and he picks himself up and manages to kind of limp his way over to cover, but he's clearly hurting after that hit. Cara continues moving for a bit just to get into cover, and is going to attempt to heal him and patch up his wound. You can see the glow a little bit from behind cover. That indicates that she's probably healing him. Dev is going to return fire on the Orcayan, who's going to duck into cover. And he's going to turn and shout to you, "Move! Move!"
I'm moving!
It is your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna make a mad dash to the next set of cover if I can.
Okay. You might need to push. You might need to push it in order to do the long distance to get to the next set of easy cover. But that is technically doable. You'll just need to expend a speed point. Well, actually, you have a speed edge, right? You have a speed edge.
I have an edge, yeah.
Yeah, so you should be able to do that essentially for free.
Okay, yeah.
So you can do that, and that would be your turn.
Yeah, I mean that's my turn. The man says move, I'm moving.
Okay. The soldiers are going to turn and start firing at you. You and Dev are currently the 2 biggest targets, so they're going to turn and fire at you. Give me 2 speed defense rolls.
That's a 12 and a 16.
Okay. You manage to duck behind cover, and you hear things ricochet off the box that you're hiding behind. That said, you do hear Dev cry out in pain as they start to tag him as well. You duck out of cover, and you can see that he's holding his side with his rifle in one arm. He's bleeding. He's gotten tagged at least once in the side and potentially once in the shoulder. It's hard to tell. There's a fair amount of blood. The orc is actually going to forego firing and is instead going to just barrel towards you guys as opposed to shooting at you. And perhaps the most frightening thing about this is you'd expect an Orcayan war cry out of this guy. You know that Orcayans are very disciplined soldiers, but you also have heard that these are, again, very tenacious, ferocious warriors. Instead, this guy is barreling at you with this look of just pure murder on his face, saying nothing, just storming towards you guys. That is effectively his turn. Dev is going to take his recovery roll. And... oh, wait. Okay. Dev takes his recovery roll. You can see him kind of begin to get a little bit of a second wind. Cara is going to run towards the ship. Vazel is popping out of cover and is going to fire off a pair of shots at 2 of these soldiers. One of them snaps right through this guy's head, and he just falls limp. The other one tags one of the other soldiers in the shoulder. It is now your turn.
All right, so I have a movement action to get to the ship now,
yeah,
right? Because I've done 2 long actions?
Well, no, because you've moved a short distance and a long distance. So you technically have a long distance you could use. Bear in mind, you also have the varying ciphers you could use as well. Dev is still out in the open, so you might want to look to help assist him a little bit.
Yeah, okay. But the orc is coming after me, right?
The orc is barreling towards you guys as a collective. He's far enough away. Yeah, he's far enough away that like he's running you guys down at this point, basically. Because at this point you're kind of all stretched out in a line, so he's just approaching that line.
So it's Cara and Vaz at the door of the ship.
They are
Then me,
more or less at the door of the ship. Then
Dev.
you, then Dev. Yeah.
All right. I would like to use the shield module on Dev.
Okay.
Here's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to do.
Right.
I want to use the shield on Dev, run at the ship, open the door, and tackle Cara and Vazel into the ship.
Oh, okay. That would take 2 actions.
Okay.
Sorry, that would take 2 turns because you'd have to use the shield and then move the short distance. And the next turn is you could again use your fleet of foot thing to move a short distance. And then your action
I will
to
use
tackle
the shield
them
and move a short distance.
Okay. So you do this. The soldiers again begin firing. This time they start firing at Dev, given that he's kind of in the open, and they see the flicker go up. One of them still fires at. One of them's gonna fire at Cara, and completely miss. You see Cara just like casually duck out of the way as a shot ricochets off the ship bulkhead behind her.
Hey, that's a brand new paint job, asshole.
Dev is going to... You watch the bullets, like the shield shimmers into effect in front of Dev, and then you see a bunch of the bullets hit the shield and just stay in place. You see a couple that actually end up hitting the shield, and they don't stay in place so much as they evaporate, because you can see the smoke rise from the shield in a couple places. Dev is going to fling what looks like a grenade of some kind over into the center of everything. Okay, so the soldiers mostly stagger backwards as a flashbang goes off. That said, the orc fails to save against it and is just sent, like, he covers his eyes, and now you hear him just yell, and he slams into a pack of crates for a minute, and he is very annoyed. You see him kind of shake his head a little bit as he tries to get his bearings. It is now your go, and you said you want to move again and tackle these 2 into the ship.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want to do.
Okay, Vazel sees you coming as you the thing. He sees you. He steps out of the way. Actually, you know what? Give me a speed roll to see if you manage to catch him and carry him into the door.
That's a 2.
Okay. Yeah, no, he sees you coming. He steps out of the way. You catch Cara and drag her into the ship as he steps outside and slams his fist on the button next to the bridge in order to bring the ramp up. You can continue to hear shooting, but you are effectively out of combat at this point.
Dev's still in the thick of it. But the last I saw, he's shielded, so...
You can't see either of them at this point. You can kind of hear some of the shots going off. Cara is turning to look at things and grabs at the door and tries to kind of stare past it. But she continues to hear gunfire, and you can hear the orc like roar in annoyance a couple times before you hear shouting, and you can hear it kind of move past you and past the ship until you hear the sound of the heavy footfalls of the orc start to head towards you. You get the idea that it's probably best you start leaving.
Yeah, no. Cara looks over at Alpin. She sees that there is like a bit of a panic in his eyes. The shootout earlier was a little bit different because he felt in control of it. For this, he is scared, and he is not entirely thinking rationally, giving Dev the shield was probably like the most
rational thing you could do.
Composure that he's had this entire combat scene.
Gotcha.
He is like pounding on the button to close the door. He's like, come on, we're getting out of here. We are leaving.
Yeah. The ship whirls to life, and it hums for a minute.
If we're lucky, we're catching this guy in our exhaust.
And you feel the ship kind of lurch a little bit, and then slowly kind of detach and float out into space before you have that moment where it goes from being out of the automatic like undocking system into manual control.
Oh no, I'm in complete disregard for the automatic undocking system.
Oh, okay. In which case, ooh boy, roll me an intellect save, difficulty 4.
Oh no. That's a nat 20.
Okay, what you manage to do instead is you get in there and you start hammering some of the buttons in order to do this. You manage to disengage the docking clamps manually and you spin the ship around, right, to go. And amongst all of this, you hear a very loud, just like roar of pain as you do so, and you hit the thrusters on your ship, and you just, again, everything lurches for a minute before the inertial dampeners catch up, and you just rocket right out of the station and are gone. Cara has a moment where she's staring at the back, towards the back of the ship, and is just like,
Did we just burn him with our engines? How did you...
God, I hope so.
How did you do that?
Alpin is just kind of like panting at this point. The adrenaline is starting to wear off, and his eyes are just like going wild.
Gotcha.
He's like gripping the controls, white knuckling it.
Yeah.
Even though, they're probably a fair distance away, cruising at a reasonable speed, he is still white knuckling on the controls.
Cara walks over and places a hand on your shoulder. She goes,
We made it out. We made it out.
Okay.
Are you all right?
Yeah, Shit. And he looks down at the new bullet hole and is just like, at this point, like, the shock is still a thing. He's not quite feeling the pain yet.
Yeah.
He's looking down at the like red spreading out over his clothes, and he's like, I'm gonna need a new fucking jacket.
Do you have an auto dock on this ship?
No.
We've
been over this.
We should fix that at some point. Here, I can try and heal a little bit.
Okay, so if you want now that you're in safe space, she's going to attempt to heal you. I'm going to have her put some effort into this.
I'm at what? -4. That's -2. That's minus...
Well, the good news is you recover... you recover 8 points.
Okay.
From her magic. You are also in space at this point, headed off elsewhere. Are you going to attempt to ping the spacer network?
Yeah, hang on. Let me do some math.
But yeah, if you're going to ping the spacer network...
Yeah, I do that.
You walk over to this terminal, and the interesting thing about the spacers is, despite being relatively new as an institution, they have already started to establish some infrastructure, right, throughout the known edges of known space that they operate in. This means that on a number of different stations that have an actual spacer headquarters, they'll usually have a couple of spacer caches. They'll also have a couple of spacer caches in places that aren't necessarily known to be a spacer hub officially. Because of this, anyone that is a proper like certified part of the spacers.
Spacer TM.
Spacer TM, exactly. Has the ability to ping the network, right? There's usually a terminal on there. It's modified to be able to tap into the spacer network. And you can use it to find information, jobs in some cases, and...
Oh, sick. It's the outer net.
Hubs of travel. Kind of, yeah. So you boot up this terminal, right? And you log into this spacer network, and you send out a ping to see what spacer caches are available that would be able to get you remember, Dev mentioned we need a new ship, we need a bigger ship, so you're like, okay, I need one that's near a shipyard. There are 2 that catch your eye because they are both accessible and are in that sweet spot. One is fairly close by, and one is significantly farther away. The close by one is on Iris. It is on the other side of Iris from whence you came. It would put it in nomad territory, in the tribe's territory. The other one is farther away, on a space station known as Crescent Station. This is out closer towards Orcayan space. It will take a significantly longer time to get to.
How long are we looking?
You're looking at a difference of about an hour or 2 in order to get back to Iris versus travel of about a day and a half in order to get to the Orcayan space station. Each one of these will have different options for you. You already know that, going to Iris, being in tribal space means you're going to have to deal with the Arisian tribes. You're likely going to end up in a space that has very different kinds of provisions than on a station like Crescent Station. Crescent Station, unlike the space station that you just came from, is a merchant station and kind of a hub of travel and trade between Orcayan space and Rosian space and Lilib space. So you've got a lot of hustle and bustle there. It might be easier to lay low over there, but again, it would be a longer time to get to, and there's the possibility that by that time, some folks might have figured out that you're headed in that direction. The Irisian one, people will likely not necessarily know that you've headed back there, but there's politics to unravel, and depending on how you play that could be either good or bad.
There's politics to unravel at the other place, too.
There's always politics to unravel.
Here's what I'm thinking. And I don't know if this is the right choice, but I'm going to send this because this is what Alpin is thinking. Alpin, as a spacer, has very much operated on the level of, here are the frameworks that are available to me, and I'm going to take advantage of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's very much aware of a lot of the implications of some of the frameworks that he uses and a lot of the potential consequences for misusing them at times. In a multicultural hub like this space station, causing a scene like the one he just fled from is not an incident in a small mining town. It's an act of war. If there are people after him, staging an attack on a merchant station is escalating their cause. It's no longer Black Ops, it's all-out warfare. He is banking on people not wanting to risk that. So he's going to go to the merchant station.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, so you plug in coordinates for Crescent Station, and the nav computer comes back to you again with a travel time of about a day and a half. So you know you're at least in for at least one night aboard this ship.
Alpin is probably used to it. He's probably slept on this ship more times than he can count.
It's been lived in at this point. Well, you could probably count it because it's only been a few
like
months,
a
month or
few
two,
months
but like
ago. Yeah.
it's definitely already been lived in for sure. Kara asks how long it will take. You relay that it's been about a day and a half. She's just like, and there's that moment where like you note across her face. She's at this point the helmet's come off. There's that little bit of just like, okay, that means I should probably go make sure that the space I tried to set up is good to go. And so she turns and she ends up heading back into the room that she was setting up earlier.
He's gonna explain his reasoning to her as well.
Her reaction is basically she sits there and she takes it all in, and she's got that like a very kind of like semi-serious like I am thinking kind of face on her face, and eventually she nods and goes, "That is sound reasoning. I agree. I think this is the best move. On top of that, if something does occur on Crescent Station, such cultural hubs tend not to be entirely averse to incidences happening. So if we must defend ourselves, that's not exactly unheard of. I think this is the correct choice. Much as I would love to trust our brothers and sisters in the tribes of Iris to help defend us, I am uncertain they will be able to. I'm uncertain they know precisely what's going on. I'm unsure of what their motivations would be to help us or not help us.
It's not even about trusting them. It's about the willingness of the people after us to escalate their conflict to intergalactic levels. Whatever they're doing, they want it as quiet as we want to be.
This is very true, and if they are very willing to drag the houses of Iris are their targets, they are going to be very willing to drag the tribes into this, I believe. There are tensions there that could be played off of. I concur with your decision. Anyways, I think this means that I will have to be spending the night aboard the ship, which means I should
Unfortunately,
make sure
yeah.
my sleeping space is set up. So I will go do that. Let me know if anything changes.
Will do. I'll keep you posted.
So she heads off into the room to do her preparations of sorts. About 2 hours or so pass while you're on the ship, trying to sort through things, go through things, before your transponder pings. Right, your transponder on the ship pings.
I will point out that Alpin does have some contacts that he wants to make, but he is waiting for a bit before he's going to make them, because again, he doesn't trust his contacts right now, at least not all of them.
Well. You notice on the transponder that one of your contacts is currently pinging you. Cassius.
Is this the guy with the connections to the thing?
Yeah,
I lost my notes.
Cassius Dominic Carta Magnus III is currently attempting to hail you.
I'll just call him Cassius.
Yeah.
Is this is the guy with the connection to the PMC?
This is the guy that is inside of the Michaelis hegemony and who might have some connections to the Kershaw PMCs.
Alpin's going to answer.
Cassius blinks to life on the screen and looks almost frantic as he says, "Thank God. Okay, thank the gods. Please tell me you didn't actually kill her. Please tell me you didn't do it yet. I've seen the footage. I know you were there, but please tell me you didn't actually kill."
No, she's alive.
Okay, good.
I couldn't do it even if I wanted to.
I did wonder if you had the guts to do so, and
Yeah, well, turns out I don't.
In the end, this turns out to be a good thing.
Figures you would call. I got some questions.
He looks confused.
Kershaw.
Yes. We've figured out now that one of their higher-ups is the one that placed the hit on Ragnar's head.
Yeah, what else do you know?
About what?
So, remember House Kashale?
I vaguely recall. I'm not very involved in Urzian politics, unfortunately.
Yeah. They're dead.
Dead? What are the Urzian...
You can thank your buddies at Kershaw for that.
What? No! They would... No, wait. They did just place a hit out on... What are they doing?
That's what I want to know.
What? So you're telling me the Kershaw private military contractors were involved in an attack on an Irizian house?
That's what I'm telling you.
That's an act of war, unless you know who hired them. They're Kershaw. They don't do things for free, but they also don't do things just for power. You have to hire them to do anything. That's like the number one rule.
I mean, that's how the mercenaries work, yes.
Do you know who hired them?
If I knew that, then I wouldn't be asking you.
Well, okay. Was this
Irizians.
Okay, so this was potentially Irizian infighting. Maybe?
I think it's deeper than that.
That's not good.
Don't have any proof. Mostly gut stuff.
Okay. I will look into this. I have...
So what are you calling me for?
I needed
Just to make sure
sh-
I'm alive?
Among other things, yes. I do happen to like you as one of my more consistent employees.
I'd like to run a check on here.
Okay, give me...
Is my location being traced
that...
through this call?
That would be... I think that would be a mind check. Make me a mind... sorry, an intellect check.
Intellectual?
Yeah, I keep calling it mind because of the other...
That's a 13.
It's a 13? The thing you are fully aware of as you go through this is you know that this particular line, right, is something that you've used with Cassius repeatedly before, and it is deliberately made so that everything is essentially encrypted and that it cannot get out into other systems. So,
Okay,
if Cassius
so my location
was attempting
is...
to trace you, he cannot trace you through the video call. Like, he can't call... He can't
Okay.
trace it through the call. You'd have to do it through another means if you were doing so.
And accepting or hanging up the call would not affect his ability to trace me.
No, it's bounced through too many layers of encryption and obfuscation. This is one of those instances where, because you've worked with him and he's a man involved in the political levels, he's nobility within the Michaelis hegemony. He is a potential target on a number of different factions lists, just because of the power that he holds. So
this is as much for protecting him as it is for me.
Yeah, exactly. The same things that are built into this system that you have are just as much for protecting him from you as they would protect you from him. And you're also aware of this. You also pick up the fact that he does seem genuinely completely confused as to why Kershaw would be involved. Like, there was that moment of just like, oh god, are these guys at war? Is the hegemony about to go to war with the Irizians over this because of how integrated they are into some of our stuff? Are the PMCs going to war on their own? Like, what's going on? You have that moment where you could tell that he is not aware of the fact that this was a thing that happened, right? His call is related to something else.
Right. So, set that aside for the minute.
He looks at you and says, listen, the Ragna girl.
I can't take any jobs right now.
It is a bit of a shame, but I think I understand. I don't know if you're
underemployed of Cara Ragna.
Oh. Okay, that makes this next part relevant to your interests. You are going to want to
try and keep her alive and away from immediate Lilim's space for a bit. The man that put the hit on her head is a Kershaw higher-up named Robert Kai Smith. I have worked with the man in the past, and he is perhaps the biggest black mark on Kershaw's records. Be careful. He is known to hire unsavory individuals to do unsavory things.
Yeah, I think I just met one.
I will say no more then. I will do some digging on this, and I will come back to you with things. I understand if you cannot answer this, given the situation you find yourself in. I would like to think that you know that you can trust me, but given the information that has just come to light, I understand if you can't. Where are you headed?
Alpin is going to lie through his teeth and say, it's not that I can't trust you, but
I understand.
I can't trust anyone around you either.
No, No, that is actually a very good point. The less you tell me, the better. Never mind.
It's a lie. It's a lie. I don't trust him at all.
You don't trust him at all, yeah.
I will do some digging into what Kershaw has to do with this, if I can. In the meantime, I don't know how many resources you'll need available, but if I have any jobs that might take you out of the way and underground, I will see if I can at least start to propose them your way, just because, again, you happen to have been a fairly consistent Spacer employee, and those are hard to find.
I'll think about it.
That is all I am asking. Keep an eye on the extranet. Again, I've seen the footage. They might start looking for you, and if more footage starts to leak, I'll see if I can tap into some of my networks. I would very much be willing to move some resources of the Kalis hegemony to help assist Miss Ragna as needed. Having a political ally such as her in the Irizian houses would be of great benefit to us from a practical standpoint, and I understand it would also be helping you as well, given that you are now under her employ. So, do keep that in mind when I extend my hand. I am doing so from a practical standpoint, as well as one that I really hope at some point you might be able to come and trust me again, but I do understand the current situation. I will have to begin resolving this immediately. I certainly hope that we're not at war.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Take care. I will talk to you in a few days.
He reaches over and ends the call. The screen goes dark, and you're left staring at it in silence, the low thrum of the engines of the ship around you as it rockets through space at hyperspeed towards the Crescent Station. And you are left with a million different questions swirling in your head. This has been Children of the Moon, an actual play podcast using the Cypher system. Alpin Endrit is played by Charles Payne, and the world and people around him are played by me, Liam Freeval. If you liked the show, please give it a review and share it with someone you think will also enjoy it. If you want to support the show, you can find the soundtrack available for purchase at backspinzx.bandcamp.com or on our Patreon along with our other behind-the-scenes content. Our socials are linked below if you want to join in on the conversation. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.